In the history of life on Earth, there has never been a more iconic showdown. On one side, the ultimate predator, a tyrant born to destroy. On the other, a living fortress, a warrior armed to the teeth for survival. This isn't a hypothetical question. This was a real battle that took place millions of times in the forests of the Cretaceous period. Today, the time gate will take us back 66 million years to witness the fateful battle between Tyrannosaurus Rex and Triceratops. Our destination, North America, at the end of the Cretaceous. This was a world nearing its end. Supervolcanoes were active, and a giant asteroid was hurtling towards Earth. But before the cataclysm, life here was at its evolutionary peak. And at the top of the food chain, these two giants reigned supreme. Meet the first contender, Triceratops horridus, the living fortress. Weighing up to 10 tons and 9 meters long, it was larger than any land herbivore today. Its weapons were not just for defense. 3 solid keratin horns, which could be over a meter long, were lethal spears. When it lowered its head and charged, the impact could pierce the thickest of hides. And its giant bone frill wasn't just for show. It protected the incredibly sensitive neck from a fatal bite. And here is its opponent, Tyrannosaurus Rex, the Tyrant Lizard King, over 12 meters long and weighing 9 tons. This was one of the largest land carnivores of all time, but size wasn't its deadliest weapon. This jaw was with a bite force, strong enough to crush a car. T-Rex didn't just bite, it annihilated bone. Its forward-facing eyes gave it stereoscopic vision to lock onto targets. Its sense of smell could detect prey from miles away. It was a killing machine, evolved to perfection. The battle begins. T-Rex won't attack head-on. That would be suicide. Its goal is to get around to the side or the rear, where the Triceratops is least protected. But the Triceratops is no easy target. It's surprisingly agile, always keeping its weapons facing the enemy, a dance of death. T-Rex uses its immense size to intimidate, trying to find a moment of weakness. The Triceratops stands its ground, waiting for a chance to counterattack. A single mistake, and the fight is over. So, who would win? Fossil evidence shows this fight happened constantly, and the outcome was never one-sided. We have found Triceratops bones with healed T-Rex bite marks, proving they survived attacks. An inexperienced T-Rex could be fatally gored. An old or injured Triceratops would be a meal for the tyrant. This was an evolutionary arms race. T-Rex evolved to break the defense, and Triceratops evolved to counter the predator. As we continue to uncover the mysteries of dinosaurs, the stories they tell are becoming more and more complex. For example, what you're about to see might surprise you. You probably think the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs happened suddenly. In reality, it was only the last straw in a series of events that had been weakening the planet for millions of years. First, there was the Deccan Traps, a flood basalt province in India that saw more than 1 million cubic kilometers of ash and lava cover the subcontinent. The geological event was so massive it may have caused a chain reaction in other volcanoes around the world. Then came the asteroid. It struck once, then again, and again, showering the Earth with debris, blocking the sun, and causing ice ages across the globe. Between the ash, the fire, the earthquakes, the tsunamis, the climate change, the acid rain, it's a wonder anything survived. But, while we tend to think of dinosaurs when we picture the extinction event, they weren't the main victims. 75% of marine species disappeared, including many large predatory sharks. Even today, we find ourselves living through the 6th mass extinction event, largely driven by human activity. But if humans disappeared tomorrow, nature would go on. Life finds a way. But there was a time when life itself was on the edge, and something even more destructive than humanity nearly wiped it all away. Triceratops and T-Rex may have been rivals, but they were united by their common enemy, the destroyer of worlds. Could this supervolcano in India have killed off all life on Earth? Keep watching to find out. Over the past few decades, scientists have discovered dozens of Chicxulub impact structures and rock layers across the globe. They date to the same time as the asteroid strike, and point to the worldwide effects of the collision. While the initial impact crater lies buried under the Yucatan Peninsula, fragments of the same rock layer have been found in places as far away as Antarctica. Yet nowhere else have they found evidence of the asteroid's immediate impact. The answer may lie in the oceans. It's a familiar sight, a lone surfer paddling out to catch a wave. But for the vast majority of history, our oceans have been patrolled by far more dangerous predators than great white sharks. Just ask these surfers from prehistoric times. Pliosaurus funky. This was a monster of the deep, measuring 13 meters long and weighing 25 tons. That made it almost twice the length of a double-decker bus and nearly as heavy as a blue whale. It was a marine reptile known as an elasmosaur. You can identify them by their extremely long necks, which could grow up to 1/3 of their total body length. Plesiosaurs were equipped with paddle-shaped limbs and huge claws. They were expert swimmers, chasing down fish, squid, and even whales. But nothing compares to the biggest of them all, the Titanoboa. If you thought the megalodon was terrifying, wait till you hear about its cousin, the Titanoboa. This gargantuan snake reached lengths of 13 meters and weighed over 1,000 kilograms. It lived in the shallow seas that covered much of North America during the late Cretaceous. That means it shared the water with the likes of the Mosasaurus and the dreaded sea megalodon. But these predators weren't big enough to stop the Titanoboa. In fact, nothing could. Snakes today use venom to immobilize their prey, but the Titanoboa didn't need venom or even teeth. Its jaws were completely toothless. Instead, it used powerful constrictors to squeeze the life out of its prey. Then it swallowed its victims whole. But how did such a monster actually survive? Creatures like the Titanoboa require enormous amounts of food to fuel their gigantic bodies. There's only so much prey to go around. That's why most large species have evolved to live in groups, hunting cooperatively to bring down larger animals. But snakes are solitary creatures. They prefer to hunt alone. So how did the Titanoboa solve this problem? By getting really, really big. It could eat hundreds of thousands of pounds of prey every year, but that comes at a cost. Larger animals need more time to recover between meals. That's why the Titanoboa grew incredibly slowly, taking 10 years to reach its maximum length. But it also lived for 40 years, twice as long as modern-day snakes. In the race between predator and prey, a fence is the best defense. And nothing embodies this principle better than the You've heard Billie Eilish's song about it, but what actually was the megalodon? This colossal shark was the apex predator of the oceans for 20 million years. It dominated the planet at a time when humans were nothing but a tiny fish. And this fish was its ultimate weapon. The megalodon's teeth were the size of a hand and razor sharp. It used them to slice through flesh like paper, tearing its prey into chunks before swallowing it whole. But even this fearsome predator couldn't survive forever. Around 3.6 million years ago, the Atlantic began to open. This allowed cold water from the south to mix with warm water from the north, disrupting the global climate and ending the age of the megalodon. While the megalodon ruled the oceans, the mammoth ruled the land. But what if I told you there was a creature that preyed on mammoths? Meet the saber-toothed cat. It's one of the most famous predators of the Ice Age, thanks to its iconic fangs. These blades were over 30 centimeters long and could pierce the thickest hide. The saber-toothed cat would slash these across the throat or chest of its victim, delivering a fatal wound in seconds. But it wasn't just a one-trick pony. The saber-toothed cat was also agile and fast. It could chase down a mammoth for miles, bringing it down with a well-placed bite. Its favorite targets were young or sick mammoths, but it wouldn't shy away from a healthy adult. If it had to, the saber-toothed cat was the ultimate hunter, capable of taking down any prey. Yet somehow it still managed to lose. When the ice sheets receded, the mammoth thrived. As temperatures warmed, the grasslands became richer and the herds grew larger. There were simply too many mammoths for the saber-toothed cat to hunt. It struggled to survive until finally disappearing from the fossil record around 10,000 years ago. During the late Cretaceous, Europe was home to some strange creatures. They were huge flightless birds with powerful beaks and claws. Imagine a dodo bird crossed with a velociraptor, and you'll have a good idea of what they looked like. These birds were called terror birds because they were vicious predators. They fed on anything they could catch, including small mammals, reptiles, and even other birds. Some species could grow up to 2.5 meters tall and weigh over 300 kilograms. But even these behemoths weren't safe from the biggest bird of all. Enter the giant condor. This vulture could soar to incredible heights, riding air currents high above the forest canopy. From this vantage point, it would spot carcasses from miles away, then swoop down to feed. Nothing could escape its massive talons. The giant condor could carry off prey as large as a horse, but it was more than just a scavenger. It was an opportunistic hunter, attacking live animals if it had to. The giant condor ruled the skies, and nothing could stop it. For more videos of time gates, check out more content. And for more stories of incredible discoveries, check out our podcast. Thanks for watching.